time to test that Disnerd brain of yours with episode 139 of Disney Jeopardy, presented by WaitSigns.com. I am your host, Bryan Perri. I'm excited to potentially stump you with 26 trivia questions across 5 different magical categories. One of those categories is a category that won the final Jeopardy wheel spin a week ago, and that was the Good Dinosaur. That's right. First time in this show's lengthy history, I'm doing a category all about the Pixar film that was released in the fall of 2015. If you know absolutely nothing about the Good Dinosaur, well, fear not, you can still go 21 for 21 elsewhere. What are the other categories you'll be playing? Well, it's time to find out as we take a look at the board and see what episode 139 has got for you. You win the wheel spin, you get to lead off the following week, and that's exactly what the Good Dinosaur will do today. The second category you'll be playing is Wilhelm Screams. Your third category is the category. That's interesting. Your fourth category is presented by WaitSigns.com. It is Disney World Resort Rooms. And finally, what did the club DJ members choose? For their category this week, they chose Nightmares. That's right, it's not Halloween anymore, but Nightmares wins anyway. It defeats Short Kings and Pumpkins in this week's poll. Short Kings, the runner-up again. It'll get another opportunity next week. And before we get started with the cupcake round, I have to send a huge congratulations to Disney Jeopardy fans Katie and Alex, who are getting married this weekend. Woo! Congratulations, guys. Shout out to everyone at the wedding who is watching this episode of Disney Jeopardy. I hope you have a wonderful time at the party. I hope you all ace this game. No chance you do, but you have my well wishes. And now it is time for that cupcake round, aka the easiest round of the game. So if you don't ace the whole game, at least ace this round. We begin with the Good Dinosaur. The type of animal that makes young Arlo scream like this. Arlo was terrified of a chicken. All right, it's now time for the category I'm most excited for this week. That is Wilhelm Screams. What is a Wilhelm Scream? Yeah, that's right. It's that ridiculous scream that has been inserted into hundreds of projects throughout the last 5, 6, 7 decades. I want to say, I believe it goes back to the 1950s. Star Wars was one of the first places that people heard it. But either way, it's been inserted into a number of Disney productions. So this category is all about different films that feature the iconic scream. With that, let's take a look at the first clue. Early in Toy Story, a lamp knocks this character out the window, leading to an iconic Wilhelm scream. Getting knocked out by the lamp was Buzz Lightyear. And with that, take a listen for the scream. It's now time for the category. What does that mean? Well, this category is all about the word the in different Disney and Pixar film titles. Here you go. The only 2 Pixar films to feature titles that begin with the word the. And as I've said over the years, if you need to pause the video to answer the clues, go right ahead. I couldn't care less because I wouldn't know you are doing so. So be my guest. Correct answer here is The Incredibles and one of the categories today, The Good Dinosaur. And yes, there was a sequel to The Incredibles, but it wasn't called The Incredibles 2. No, it was simply called Incredibles 2. All right, now it's time for our Walt Disney World Resort Rooms category. If you're not Disneyland fans, you'll have one of these coming up in a few weeks, but I will show you the interior of a room at a Walt Disney World Resort, and you will have to tell me what hotel you're staying at. You've got 5 seconds. Overlooking some majestic animals in the middle of the resort, the correct answer here is Animal Kingdom Lodge. Here comes your final clue of the cupcake round. It belongs to nightmares. Heffalumps and woozles make up a legendary nightmare for this Disney character. Who is Winnie the Pooh? That does it for the cupcake round, which means it's time to remind you about our friends at WaitSigns.com. We've talked about them a number of times throughout the last few years, and they are back and better than ever. New for 2025, you can turn your living room into your very own Disney resort with Wait Time TV. That's right, turn your family's TV in your living room or your bedroom into a resort TV filled with a number of features that Disney fanatics will love. Simply connect the new Wait Time TV player into your screen with the included HDMI cable, and before you know it, your TV is greeting you with a personalized greeting like you're checking in to a Disney resort. How cool is that? Choose between the park hours display, real-time ride wait times, and even the brand new magical multi-view experience that allows you to watch up to 4 live streams within Disney parks. It's like NFL Red Zone for Disney fans. And if you want to keep things compact, the classic wait sign display is still available for a limited time. There's even more features that I'll get into next week, but for now, head over to waitsigns.com. Use the promo code ITM15 to get 15% off today. All right, it's time for the 400-point round that begins with the Good Dinosaur. This nightmare-inducing image comes after Arlo and Spot did this. The answer is they ate some bad fruit. Here comes Wilhelm Screams for the second time. Listen to the audio clip and identify which film includes this Wilhelm Scream.
You guys gotta try this thing.
Well, if you listen to the beginning of the clip, you might have recognized the voice of Chip from Beauty and the Beast.
You guys gotta try this thing.
Here comes the category for the second time. The only Star Wars film from the Skywalker saga to not include a "the" in its title. Well, if you're unfamiliar, the Skywalker saga is just made up of the trio of trilogies that has been released by Lucasfilms. I'm not including Solo here. I'm not including Rogue One, just those 3 trilogies of films. And out of those 9 films, the only one without a "the" in the title is the original Star Wars, which was its original name, and eventually Star Wars: A New Hope. Here comes your second Disney World resort room. Name the resort. And that room right there, I believe, if you look closely, is overlooking Seven Seas Lagoon and not Bay Lake, because I think that's Grand Floridian in the distance. Either way, correct answer here is Contemporary Resort. Final clue of the 400s belongs to a nightmare. This nightmarish scene happens after Dumbo gets drunk with this character, and it is my favorite character in a classic Disney film. So get this right, folks. Come on. Yes, Mickey Mouse is the most famous mouse in the Walt Disney Company. Rightfully so. I love Mickey. But you know who deserves a little more love? Fellow Brooklynite Timothy Q. Mouse.
All right. Let's see you blow a square one, pal.
We're moving on to the 600-point round, and it begins with a fan clue for the Good Dinosaur. Finish the slogan spoken by Thunderclap. The storm blank. Answer is the storm provides.
The storm provides!
Let's move on to another Scream now. It's so ridiculous. Anyway, that scene of Luke Skywalker sending one of Jabba's minions into the Sarlacc pit, and thus providing us with the famous scream, comes from this film. Ooh, 2 Star Wars clues today. That specific Star Wars film was the third one from the original trilogy, aka Star Wars: Return of the Jedi. Halfway point of the game means we're at the category for the third time. Since 2001, this is the only Disney feature animation film to begin with the word the. That's right, back in the day, a lot of Disney films began with the word the, but since The Emperor's New Groove in 2000, there's only been one Disney film to begin with the word the. What film was that? Answer is The Princess and the Frog. Here comes your third Disney World resort room. Name the resort you're staying at. Beautiful room right there. Actually, you know what? That looks like a suite. That's more of a suite. I'm probably not staying there. I'm probably staying in the double queens or single king. But either way, awesome room. You can find it at Art of Animation. Here comes your third nightmare of the game. Right before Andy drops Woody during this nightmare, he utters this famous line. Andy says, "I don't want to play with you anymore."
I forgot. You're broken. I don't want to play with you anymore.
600s are complete. Let's move on to the difficult 8s. Spencer is on fire with these clues. He sends in this one, which reads, the type of dinosaur John Ratzenberger voices in the film. John Ratzenberger, Disney legend, of course. I've done a category on him in the past. Who did he play? The Good Dinosaur. Well, he played Earl. Who was Earl? Earl was a raptor.
Looks like he's trespassing.
And what do we do with trespassers? Tell them, Earl. We kill them!
Here comes your fourth scream of the game. The famous scream can be heard in a Goofy movie when some construction workers nearly lose their lives after Goofy drives through their work site. This song is playing during the occurrence. I believe we talked about it last week when I was talking about scary voices, one of them being Goofy. Correct answer here is On the Open Road. Listen up.
Though I may be in traction when I do.
Let's read the 800-point clue from the category. From 1977 through 1990, Disney Feature Animation released 8 films, with 7 of them beginning with the word the. This was the only one of the 8 that didn't. Well, I mentioned how films with titles that began with the word the are few and far between over the last couple of decades, but like I said in the clue, the 80s were filled with them. The only film that had a title that didn't begin with the was Oliver and Company. Here comes your fourth resort room of the day. Now that is a magical room that I remember visiting when I worked as a performer at Disney. The correct answer here is Port Orleans. Here comes your final clue before the 1000s. It belongs to nightmares. In Inside Out, Riley wakes up from a nightmare featuring a clown named this. He was a horrifying clown. And it was named Jangles.
It's Jangles.
20 clues are down and 6 remain, including Final Jeopardy. But before we get there, you, yes, you know what time it is. It is time most overly dramatic soundtrack infused unnecessarily. Spotlighted part of the game, the 1,000 point round. Hit it! Let's kick off this 1,000 point round by wrapping up the category, the Good Dinosaur. Around a campfire, the T-Rex Butch explains to Arlo that this is how he got his scar. He was bitten by crocodiles.
Then I saw it, a pretty pond. I bent down to take a drink when these crocs launched out of the water. One croc bit me on the face.
Oh no, it's time for the final scream of the day.
Oh yeah, anniversary. Of what?
Our very first date. Ooh. Well, from now on, you can date your stupid video game.
The clip you just saw of Mickey playing video games with a cameo by the famous Scream is from this Academy Award-nominated short film that Disney pulled out of circulation. That's right, Disney released this, I believe, before A Kid in King Arthur's Court back in the 90s. Then they pulled it because of the reception it received, about it being way too dark and creepy. Correct answer is Runaway Brain.
Oh no, no.
If you want to see this short film, you're going to have to look further than Disney Plus because Disney swept it under the rug and they're like, this didn't happen. It's online somewhere. You can find it. It is very bizarre. All right, final clue from the category of the category goes like this. The name of this 1941 film that included an appearance by Walt Disney. Of course, it had to include the in the title. The correct answer is The Reluctant Dragon. Your final resort room looks like this. Well, definitely a different vibe than the last couple of rooms we've looked at. The correct answer here is Pop Century. Your final clue on the board before Final Jeopardy belongs to nightmares. These disturbing images all come from the same nightmare in this movie. It's arguably the most disturbing nightmare that Disney or Pixar has ever animated. It's very weird and doesn't feel like it's from a Disney or Pixar film, but it is. The correct answer is Turning Red. 25 clues are down and one remains, and it just so happens to be the one clue that will ultimately determine how proud of yourself and how you should feel about yourself for the next 7 days. It's time for Final Jeopardy, which means it's time to spin that wheel. Yes, it's the Final Jeopardy wheel spin to determine one of the categories next week, but more importantly, the final clue today. Let's spin it. Ooh boy. Get ready to put on those earmuffs next week because I am going to be hurling a number of insults at Widow Tweed, aka my least favorite Disney character ever. That's because next week we're talking about the Fox and the Hound. Yes, I love the Fox and the Hound outside of Widow Tweed. It's time to make your wagers based on how much you remember about the film from the early 80s. And time is up. If you haven't seen The Fox and the Hound yet, go back and watch it because it is a certified Disney classic. I love it. I love the fox. I love the hound. That's pretty much it. That's all I love in the film. All right, here we go. Final clue of the game. It goes like this. The character of Squeaks transforms at the end of the film. Name what he started the film as and what he ends the film as. Good luck. And time is up. The character of Squeaks actually transforms off screen within a tree. because Squeaks began the film as a caterpillar and eventually becomes a beautiful butterfly.
There he is!
Hey, there's something very familiar about those eyes.
You know who else is excited for Fox and the Hound next week? The executive producer of Disney Jeopardy, right, buddy? They're excited. Copper and Todd, the whole gang. Yes. You don't look excited. All right, fine. As a reminder, head over to waitsigns.com to scoop up the brand new Wait Time TV. If you are a Disney Parks fan, you will love it. Use the promo code ITM15 to get 15% off today. Club DJ members, we had quite a poll last week, one of our closer ones in recent memory. Will that be matched this week? Well, it's time to find out by going over and voting right now. As you can see, Short Kings gets another opportunity. It's going against two tough opponents. Songs in Reverse, a classic from previous episodes, has a chance of appearing again. And then we've got Mickey Mouse Club. Remember the Mickey Mouse Club? Early 90s, even the 1950s had Mickey Mouse Club. That would be an interesting category. If you want it, make sure you select it right now. If you're not a Club DJ member, you can join by watching these episodes on the computer and clicking the join button below the video. Now, if you like what you saw, do me a favor, subscribe and click that bell icon. Hello, bell. This way you're notified every time we come out with brand new content. I've been your host, Bryan Perri. I will see you next week for episode 140, featuring little Tweed, but also the Fox and the Hound.
Bye-bye.